Namaste viewers, welcome to Avinash Bio category. So in the last video we focused on the replication process, that is a DNA doubling process. Today let me focus another major concept, that is in the central dogma, the first step for a protein synthesis, that is polypeptide chain synthesis. So that is the transcription. First one is transcription, the next step is a translation here. So let us today focus on how actually the translation process occurs and what are the requirements for that process and what are the behind agenda for that transcription. So I think the content is vast, so I hope let me make the translation video in 2 sessions. So this is the first part video on the transcription. Today in this video let me focus the basic things regarding the transcription and regarding its translation unit, and as well as the gene, how different scientists they referred the gene in a different ways, and how the scientists they considered gene as a unit of different things. So today in this video let us focus on that one. Yes, today let me start with the basic things of transcription. Yes, so here simply whatever the term you are given with, just split the term here, transcription, right? So what it indicates, just to see here, trans, so it is something related to the movement, or it is something related to the displacement, or transferring, transferring. Script, one more term is there here. Script means anything or any matter which is present in a coded or decoded form, so just like a story, so that has been transferred here. Script, who is having the script here? DNA is having the script. Script for what? Script for this total entire body. So our entire body will exhibit different characters, and for those characters, so if DNA is responsible, means that DNA is having the hidden agenda in the form of script for all the characters. Now that script has been transferred here, so through the transcription process here. If you consider the central dogma, let me write the central dogma here. So DNA, first it is going to produce the RNA, so this is the general thing as already we know. So this RNA, next it is going to produce the polypeptide chain, right? So its next aim is production of a polypeptide chain. So DNA producing mRNA means this is the first step of protein production, that is the preliminary step, that is the preparation step, transcription. And this RNA producing the polypeptide chain, that is the translation. Translation, it is the final step for the production of this polypeptide chain, and this polypeptide chain get modified in the Golgi complex to form a specific protein performing specific functions, for example enzyme. So next it going to form the enzyme. So that enzyme will be responsible for giving one particular character, right? So here DNA producing RNA, the thing is DNA is a double stranded and RNA is a single stranded. Say for example in a bacterial body, let us consider. And one more thing, keep one thing in your mind, the whole process what I am going to discuss right now here, so it occurs in the bacteria. So let you imagine that the whole process occurs in bacteria. It is having the double stranded DNA. That double stranded DNA has to produce the single stranded RNA. So here the RNA means either it may be the mRNA, either it may be the tRNA, or either it may be the rRNA. All the 3 RNAs get produced here. And here let us focus on this particularly, production of mRNA from this DNA here. So this overall this process, by keeping the DNA as a center, so whatever the process occurring, that main metabolic process occurring in the cell, so that was demonstrated, that idea was given by Francis Crick, and we will call this concept as a central dogma. But thing is, 2 scientists, one is Baltimore and another one is Temin. Baltimore and Temin, these 2 scientists, they observed one step reverse to the central dogma, that is the RNA, it is going to produce the DNA, right? So this is the thing here. In case of the retrovirus, if we consider, say for example, retrovirus, our HIV. So in the case of HIV viruses, so that is human infecting viruses, in a retrovirus, it is having the RNA as a genetic material. When that RNA enters, the total virus cannot enter inside. That means protein coat remains outside the cell, only the RNA enters. When RNA enters inside, it is converting into DNA. So how it is converting means, here it is having a specific enzyme, and that enzyme is RT, reverse transcriptase enzyme. So then the DNA again it proceeds the same thing as it is in the central dogma. But if we consider this one, it is considered to be the reverse of central dogma, and reverse of central dogma given by Baltimore and Temin. So these two scientists. Central dogma concept given by Francis Crick here, right? So here, if I want to focus on this transcription process, oral process. So as already we know, if I consider a cell inside the cell nucleus, so let me consider the DNA. The overall total DNA content, what if we consider present in the coiled form here, the overall DNA, it is present in two forms, euchromatin and heterochromatin, right? We are having two forms. Let me write them here. One is euchromatin, another one is heterochromatin. So what is that euchromatin? Euchromatin is a transcriptionally active, as already we know, and heterochromatin is a transcriptionally inactive. Why it is transcriptionally active means, so here this chromatin part is loosely coiled or loosely packed. So here it has been packed very complicatedly, so enzymes cannot work on this heterochromatin. Now we have to focus on this euchromatin portion. So in the euchromatin portion, how much that is? In case of the our DNA, if I consider, just 2% euchromatin DNA is there, 98% just total overall heterochromatin is there. In this small portion of DNA, this oral transition process is going to occur. That means transitionally active portion. So now let me consider from that heterochromatin, let us consider a transcription unit. Yes. So let me mark them as 3' to 5' or 3' to 5', and this one 5' to 3', right? So here I am not considering the overall DNA content either in the DNA, either in the bacteria or human. Just I am focusing on piece of DNA which is active by its transcription activity. So I consider such kind of one DNA piece. Now let me call this a DNA as transcription unit. Yes. So this total unit of that portion of that small portion segment of the DNA is considered to be the transcription unit. In the transcription unit, let me mark 3 important places, right? This one, this one, and in between. So let me write this first portion of the DNA segment. This portion is considered to be the promoter. So this is promoter, and that portion is terminator. So this is terminator, and in between promoter and in between terminator, so the flanking sequence is considered to be the structural gene. So the next one is structural gene, right? We are having 3 pieces. First one promoter, second one terminator, and the third one is structural gene. And actually the production of mRNA length, overall its length, or from that mRNA whatever protein is going to produce, that means polypeptide chain is going to produce, its length, it is depending on structural gene length. If the structural gene length is more, automatically it's producing mRNA by that mRNA whatever the polypeptide chain is going to produce, so that's length also is going to increase. So that overall depending on this one here. So here transcription unit means the piece of the DNA which is active by the transcription. That's it. So in this DNA we are having the 2 strands, 3' to 5', 5' to 3'. So let me consider this portion as a promoter and that portion terminator. Promoter means, so this is the portion of the transcription unit where the enzymes are going to attach. Which enzymes? The enzymes responsible for the transcription. Those enzymes are going to attach, and from this portion onwards the process begins. Translation process begins. Terminator means that is a portion of a translation unit, so from where the process is going to end and all the enzymes are coming outside. That means it is a starting point, that is the end point. So in between the portion is the structural gene here, right? So here in the promoter region, if I consider, before going to that one, let me mark here 3' to 5'. This strand is considered to be the template strand. Yes, this is called as a template strand, or it is also called as antisense strand. Template strand or antisense strand. The first one here. What is the meaning of template? Means the strand of DNA, or template means its general meaning is which is helpful for something to happen. So that is a template strand means. So this is a portion of the DNA which is helpful for production of mRNA. From this strand the mRNA is going to be produced. So the downside strand, this one is considered to be the coding strand. Coding strand, or it is also called as this. If this is the antisense means this is the sense strand, right? Or sometimes we will refer them as a positive strand as well as a negative strand in the different manners. But keep these two things in your mind. Template, which is helpful for the mRNA production. Coding, it is not helpful for the mRNA production. Or the template strand also called as antisense strand. So here antisense strand means, see here, from this DNA strand the mRNA going to be produced. Now on this DNA strand, so for example let me mark here, so here the mRNA is going to produce this mRNA sequences, nucleotide sequences, and this DNA sequences. That means template DNA sequences, mRNA sequences, both are complementary. Yes, that means these sequences are exactly similar to these sequences. Similar, not complementary. Whatever the sequences present on the mRNA, newly produced mRNA, the same sequences present on the coding strand, except T. T is replaced by U. That means RNA do not have the thymine, instead of it is having the uracil. So except that one, adenine, guanine, cytosine, whatever the placements for those nucleotides present on this mRNA, same nucleotides present on this coding strand. And because of that reason we will consider it as a coding strand. Why? Because this mRNA next codes for the protein, so the same sequence present on the coding strand. So this is the template strand, and here the template strand also called as the antisense strand here, right? So one more thing, you have heard this term in another meaning also. So antisense RNA, I think you have heard this term. So RNA interference mechanism, in that mechanism we have seen this antisense, sense RNA strand, antisense RNA strand. So here antisense RNA strand, it is the natural mechanism in order to suppress the replication of nematode or any pathogens inside the plant body. That is a natural mechanism, preventive mechanism. So here the question will be arised, how this process actually happens. See here thing, if you want to suppress any target gene in the plant cell, so any one target gene we need to suppress it. If you want to suppress a gene means we have to suppress its mRNA production. Then what to do? Then we have to introduce either artificially or naturally. So we have to introduce another copy of gene into that cell. So already the cell has been attacked by the pathogen. We have to suppress the gene activity of some target organism. Then we have to introduce another second gene into that organism, and now that gene produces one mRNA. That mRNA and the target gene mRNA both are complementary. So for the produce this mRNA, if you want to produce another one anti-strand means we have to use antisense RNA. So that is in case of RNA interference. That means the same mechanism has been used there here. But keep one thing in your mind, similar concept is different, complementary concept is different, right? So here this strand, producing mRNA strand, is complementary to the template strand. Producing mRNA is similar to the coding strand, right? The things are a little bit different here. And one more thing, always keep in your mind, always we have to read the sequence from 5' to 3', from 5' to 3'. If you want to read any DNA sequence or RNA sequence, anything, we have to read the sequence from 5' to 3'. And here 5' we will consider it as upstream, and 3' side we will consider it as downstream. So this is the direction always we have to read the sequences, right? 5' to 3', upstream to downstream. So this is called as 5' and also called as front end, and that is called as the back end, right? So just for example, if you consider that palindromic sequences, Gattac sequence, GAATTC. So always we have to read the sequence from 5' to 3' only, whatever the strand it might be. So here, and because of that reason, we have to consider coding strand here as a reference for the polarity point of view. If you want to say any polarity or any direction, we have to keep the coding strand as the reference. By keeping the coding strand 5' present here, that means upstream. Near the upstream, promoter is present. Near the downstream, terminator is present. That means promoter is upstream end, terminator is at downstream end. And one more thing, the process, transition process occurs from upstream to the downstream. Keep this direction in your mind, upstream to the downstream here. Enzymes are moving in this direction. So direction always it is reference by keeping the reference as coding strand as in your mind, right? And here the question will be arised, why only this strand produces mRNA, why not both the DNA strands cannot produce the mRNA? So that is the question, right? The question is, one question is arised, why both the DNA strands cannot produce the mRNA? Why? Because, so we can imagine the two reasons here. The first one, 2 mRNA get produced. Imagine now template strand and coding strand of DNA both get produces 2 mRNAs. Now the mRNA produced on this strand is complementary to, and mRNA produced on this strand and mRNA produced on this strand, both are complementary each other. Complementary means they can form the pair. So that means 2 mRNAs can produce the double stranded RNA. So this double stranded RNA, so what is it? So next step has to be occurred here, that is translation. There is no translation process. That is a problem. Hence both the DNA strands cannot produce the mRNA. So that is one thing. And second thing, so here, okay, of course 2 mRNA get produced, but they do not combine. Let us imagine. So both the mRNA produced from both the DNA strands, they get apart, they will not come close to each other, they will not combine. Let us imagine in that way also. If the process happens so, then both the mRNA strand produces 2 proteins, protein number 1 and protein number 2 after the translation process. Their translation process occurs if both the RNA strands cannot combine. But thing is, both the proteins are entirely different. Why? Because their codons are different on those mRNA strands. Hence amino acid sequences are also different. Hence both the proteins are also different. If both the proteins are different, means they are unfit for exhibiting one character. That means it leads to the default in the character expression. And because of these two reasons, so both the DNA strands cannot act as a template. Only one DNA strand act as a template. But in case of replication, both the DNA strand act as a template. But here only one strand. And what is that strand? 3' to 5' direction strand, right? Not in that direction. That's why I told you keep these 2 points in your mind. So 3' to 5' DNA strand act as a template here, right? And now thing is, just imagine in the promoter region only. In the promoter region, just I told you, here the enzyme is going to attach. What is that enzyme? DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme is going to attach. Let me write here. DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme is going to attach, right? So this is simply I will call it as RNA polymerase. It is depending on DNA strand to work. So this RNA polymerase enzyme, so it attaches at this portion of the DNA, that is promoter region, and it moves in this direction upstream to downstream up to the terminator region. While it is moving, it goes on adding a nucleotides complementary to the template strand, so that becomes on a new mRNA strand. So this process continues. Now the question will be arised. So DNA dependent RNA polymerase, how it recognizes the promoter region here exactly, how that enzyme recognizes here. So here in the case of, say for example, let me consider prokaryotes. So in the beginning time only I told you, let us consider the whole process occurring in prokaryotes. In the prokaryotes, usually we are having only one enzyme. So that is RNA polymerase, DNA dependent RNA polymerase, only one type of enzyme we are having. But in case of eukaryotes transcription, we are having three types of RNA polymerase enzymes: RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 3. But in case of prokaryotes, only one. Why the three types of RNAs means the little bit complex in case of eukaryotes. For production of mRNA, tRNA, rRNA, one type of proteins enzymes we are having. But in case of prokaryotes, all the things done by just one enzyme, that is RNA polymerase enzyme. So if we consider this enzyme speciality, so this RNA polymerase enzyme, the overall enzyme, it is made up of 5 polypeptide chains. That means it is one big protein. That protein is modified into the enzyme, that is RNA polymerase. That RNA polymerase enzyme structure, it is made up of 5 big polypeptide chains. Those polypeptide chains are alpha, alpha 1, beta, beta 1, and the next one is sigma. Yes, we are having 5 factors here, 5 polypeptide chains. So alpha, alpha 1, beta, beta 1, these 4 polypeptide chains, these 4, they are going to form the core protein. Here enzyme is nothing but the protein, of course. They are going to form the core protein or core enzyme. So for example, let us consider this is the not protein, core enzyme. They are going to form the core enzyme. Suppose if these 4 polypeptide chain get attached with the sigma factor, we will call it as a factor. If that has been joined means, then this becomes, when it get joined here, that is sigma. When a sigma factor get joined here, this total overall becomes holo enzyme. Yes. So keep one thing in your mind, for this enzyme to work, this sigma factor is must compulsory. If there is no sigma factor, if only the core enzyme is present, then that cannot recognize the promoter region. Of course enzyme is there, its activity will be as it is, but it cannot recognize the promoter sequence. To recognize the promoter sequence, there must be sigma factor here, right? Either it may be prokaryotic or eukaryotic enzyme here. So what is that specificity of that sigma factor? So in the promoter region, if I consider promoter region, again it can be divided into 2 portions here. So let me consider all these are the nucleotide sequences, right? Base pairs. So this is the promoter region in the DNA. So at the central portion, this central portion is considered as core region of the promoter, right? So in the core region of the promoter, we are having a special sequence. So that special sequence, we will consider it in the name of box. Say for example, we are having 2 boxes, Tata box. So here in this portion, there is a special sequence called as a Tata box. Tata box means, so why are given this name means, Tata here means this particular core region, it is rich with adenine and thymine nucleotide sequences or base pairs. Hence we will consider as a Tata box here. So Tata box means either it may be 6 or 7 nucleotides small DNA piece. So that is present in this center of the promoter region here. So we can write it as TATAAA like that, Tata box. Simply we will call it as Tata box. That sequence is present here. So this Tata box, it is majorly present in the case of eukaryotes and archaea. In the eukaryotes and archaea, in these two forms we can see the Tata box, right? In the case of others, that means the prokaryotes, in the prokaryotes we do not have the Tata box here, so that sequence is a little bit different. Of course same as it is, little bit different, TATAAT, that means a TATAT. So this box, it is present in the promoter region of prokaryotic cell. So it is present in prokaryotic cell. So of course prokaryotic cell or whatever the eukaryotic or archaea cell, so these sequences, these special sequences are present at the promoter region, and all these sequences are AT rich. Yes, AT rich. The question will be arise, why AT rich sequences here? Why the enzyme has to recognize AT rich sequences in the promoter only for the attachment? Why? Because where the enzyme is going to attach on the DNA strand, from that portion onwards the DNA is going to unwind, double stranded DNA is going to unwind. So for that unwinding, the enzyme has to break the hydrogen bonds, right? To break the hydrogen bonds, so their workload should be less. Say for example here, in AT sequences, A and T, in between AT only 2 hydrogen bonds are present. Suppose if it is guanine and cytosine, G and C, in between 3 hydrogen bonds will be present. So instead of breaking 3 hydrogen bonds, breaking 2 hydrogen bond is easier for the enzyme. Hence because of that reason, AT sequence is at most important in the promoter region. So from that point onwards the process is going to start, right? So here Tata box or this sequences, they will be about a length of 6 to 7 or 5 to 6 nucleotides. And here from where the enzyme attaches, from attachment of enzyme, its a front region will become the initiator region. Now say for example, this is the initiator portion, right? This is the initiator portion. From this initiator portion the process is going to start. So this is the promoter region. So at the promoter region, this is the region. So here the Tata box sequence is present here. Imagine Tata box sequence, and this is the initiator region. From the initiator region, the Tata box sequence is 25 nucleotides length, that means gap. So from the initiator region and the Tata box, 25 nucleotides length, that much of gap is there here. Suppose if it is a TATAT box, so there might be 10 nucleotides gap. And one more thing, during the course of evolution, at the time of evolution, so many DNA sequences are going to change, their base pairs are going to change, and their compositions are going to change, the combination is going to change. Why? Because DNA slowly undergo variation and mutation, all the things occurs. But thing is, in the promoter region, that AT rich sequence, whatever the combination is there, that sequence combination, that remains as it is, it will not change. And because of that reason, we will consider these Tata box portion or the TAT box portion in the promoter regions as the conserved sequences. During the time of evolution course, they will not change, they will be as it is. They can be easily rectified or recognized by the enzyme. Which enzyme? RNA polymerase enzyme. So to recognize that sequence, there must be here sigma factor, at most important, and because of that reason we will refer that sigma factor as the initiation codon, initiator factor. So after the attachment, the DNA going to cut the hydrogen by its hydrogen bond, both the DNA strands start to separate, and the enzyme moving on not both the DNA strand, on one strand. What is that strand? On template strand the enzyme is going to move. So for example, this is the enzyme, which enzyme? DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme, along with the sigma factor, along with some other transition factors, all together attached here. Now the enzyme is moving on this DNA strand, in this direction. So up to the terminator region. So it will stop at the terminator region, the enzyme. So when it stops. Now here one more factor is used. So one more factor is there here, that is Rho factor. Yes. So Rho factor is another special enzyme. That enzyme get attached to this one, that is a Rho factor. When this factor is attached here, now the whatever the bond is formed, or whatever the connection is there between this DNA and a newly synthesizing mRNA complex, that get detached, and now the mRNA get separated here. And thing is, this Rho factor, it is working on the ATP activities. That means it needs ATP, it needs energy. So ATP synthetase will help for this Rho factor for detachment of newly synthesizing mRNA and the template DNA at the point of terminator region here. So this is the overall basic thing if you consider regarding the transcription. By keeping all these things, we have to next see how the process is going to happen. And along with that one, in the next video, let us see this overall process what I have drawn here. This is one gene, right? Why? Because it is producing mRNA. That mRNA produces a protein. That protein get modified into enzyme. That enzyme gives one character. Hence, it is considered to be a gene, right? So different scientists they referred a gene in a different ways according to their work. So how they referred a gene in a different ways, and how this actually the translation process is going to happen. So let us see in the next video. Yes, thank you.